critical, of being insensitive, of fighting the government. Yet that is not the case. The case is people want to know what happened to these monies. So I think that is a serious concern. And in the fullness of time, that is a matter that cannot be wished away. And if the current administration cannot
let me understand. What's happening? Who is this that is managing?
Yet that is not the case. The case is
who's doing this?
What happened to these monies? So I think
Mary, can we
get
things back to where we're supposed to be?
Of time,
I'm sorry.
That is a matter that cannot be wished away. And if the current administration, there's a lot of interference by the state.
Who is this? I don't think what's happening? Moderators managing. We are not doing things right. Who's doing this?
What happened to this money?
Mugo, kindly apologies for that. Mugo, can you expand the guest, because somebody just did whatever they did and muted the guest. Is honorable, so kindly do that for us. It's not me. Somebody did it.
And that's why I would appreciate so much. Please, moderators, let's do what is right. Moderators, we are not doing things right. Oh my God.
Mugo, kindly apologies for that. Mugo, can you expand the guest, because somebody just did whatever they did.
So do we have His Excellency with us?
Honorable.
Yeah,
so
he's with us.
For us.
He's muted. Let me see why.
Kindly unmute the Excellency. We are not able to do that from our side. Maybe the host can help. Yes, I've tried as much as I can. Even the camera, it's not able. So I don't know what happened. Yes.
They will be up in 43 seconds. In 43 seconds, he will be able to be back. Okay.
So do we have His Excellency with us?
Yeah, he's with us. He's muted. Let me see. In 23 seconds.
Kindly unmute the Excellency. We are not able to do that from
our side. Can I have
maybe the host can help.
Unfortunately, I'll make an honest request. Can I have all the moderators off? Let me only have Gachagua and Masih. In 43 seconds. The moderator and Priscilla, those who are up here. In 43 seconds, he will be able to manage yourselves. Okay. Okay.
So do we have His Excellency?
The camera will be back. In the meantime, His Excellency, you can be talking to us. Can I have?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Unfortunately,
I think there's some bit of interference.
Yes. There's some bit of interference, but we are truly going to take care of that. The moderator and Priscilla, those who are up here.
I think these people don't want us to talk to the people of Kenya.
And I can assure you we'll be able to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will assure you we will be able to do that. In the meantime,
if I can be heard, we can still continue the questions as you are sorting out the images.
Yes, please do.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Let us have more questions. I think there's some bit of
Okay. I'm sorry, I was muted there. I couldn't unmute myself, but I'm hoping nothing interferes some more. So we're done with the healthcare. And in case you have a personal question that you'd like to ask, or a question that relates to general population, you'll wait for the open session and you can ask anything to do with health. We are now right on moving to the social welfare on affordable housing.
Yes, please do.
And the question is, when it comes to affordable housing, this fund is claimed from government employees. How do these government employees benefit from these houses, the affordable houses, that is, while we know that most of them already have built their houses up country or elsewhere? What is there for them to benefit? 30 seconds, please. When it comes to affordable housing,
along the way,
is claimed from government employees. How do these government employees benefit from these houses, the affordable houses, that is, while we know that most of them already have built their houses up country or elsewhere? What is there for them to benefit? 30 seconds, please.
The people of Kenya did. Along the way that
government employees.
did
How do this
the affordable housing program is
from these houses, the affordable houses?
Okay, please, let's just, His Excellency, let's just hold on there. And the 4.2 people, okay, we are back. We are not back. Somebody have tried to interfere with the settings, and I'm sorry. If you're one of our moderators who probably is doing this, I feel I don't want to be the bad boy, but we'll definitely have to wish you. Okay, please, let's just. His Excellency, let's just hold on there, and we will be back. Okay, we are back. We are not back. Somebody have tried continue, His Excellency. Settings, and I'm sorry. If you're one of our moderators who continue, we can hear you. I feel like I don't want to be the bad boy, but we'll definitely have to wish you. Okay, please, let's just. His Excellency, let's just hold on there, and we will be back. Okay, let me hope whoever is doing this can. Mary, okay. Continue, His Excellency.
Host, please, I see the comment section asking you to remove the timer against your settings, please.
Not me. Somebody just put the timer. That's why I'm having a problem with the same. Somebody put the timer.
Okay.
Definitely. Hey. Wish you. Okay, please.
Okay. So, should we please repeat the question? Yes, please.
Okay, let me hope whoever is doing this can.
Yes, I am saying that in my view and the view of the majority of the people of Kenya, 98% of the Kenyan population, the affordable housing program is not a priority for the people of Kenya.
That's why I'm having a
Housing
problem with the same.
is a private sector initiative. We should leave people to put up their own houses. We should spend all our resources in putting up the necessary infrastructure, creating roads, water, electricity, sewage, and then people can put up houses for themselves. We do remember Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, opened up the bypasses, put roads, water, electricity, and sewage, and the houses came up on their own. It's a private sector initiative. So going forward, this is something the people of Kenya at the right time will have to review. Whether you really need to tax people to put up houses that have nothing to do with you. Again, when you look at it, these houses are put up on government land using taxes collected from the people, and then the houses are sold to private people. So you wonder, where is the benefit to the public? Those are some of the issues I really had a problem in government by having a divergent opinion and saying that in my own view, the affordable housing program is not a priority for Kenya. It should be left to the private sector. Whether you really need to tax people to put up houses that have nothing to do with you. Again, when you look at it, these houses are put up on government land using taxes collected from.
CS, are you there?
And then the houses are sold.
I'm trying to manage the timer.
Where is the benefit?
Whoever moderator.
Some of the issues.
Okay.
Yes, please. If the moderators could just leave my microphone on, that would be great, so that we don't keep on going back and forth in that way. And please, Gedaiga, if you could help us remove that timer, that would be really great. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We've had your stand as far as that is concerned. Now let's go back to the employees who are paying this money, towards this fund on an every day basis, because every time they work, the fund is subtracted. Now, in the new administration, can the employees opt out from this? contributions. Keep on going back and forth.
I think a new administration in Kenya will have a
if you could help
discussion
us
with the
remove
people
that
of
timer,
Kenya.
that would be really
And a new
great.
administration
Thank you very
will be
much, Your
people
Excellency.
sensitive.
We've had
It will be
your
an
stand
administration
as far
that
as that is
listens to the
concerned.
people of Kenya.
Now let's go back
You
to the
cannot force the
employees
people of Kenya on a program if they are
paying
not
this
interested.
money, this
Many a
towards this
time I
fund
discuss
on
with
an
President
every
William Ruto,
day
and
basis,
he
because every time
insists
they work, the
that
fund
you
is
don't have to do what
subtracted.
is popular,
Now,
you do
in the
what is
new
right.
administration,
And my answer to him many a
can the
time was that
employees
we have
from
and if the
this
majority of people
contributions
think what we are doing is not right, you cannot insist that is the right thing to do. So this is something I am sure the people of Kenya, 98% are against the housing program. With a new administration, I don't think that program will be able to continue because it's really not a priority. It's a very personal thing. You put up your own house depending on your own needs. People want other services from government. They want roads, they want water, they want electricity, they want sewage, they want security, they want a good environment for doing business.
Excellent. So, could you also speak to the fact that we are aware that the houses have already been put up? And of course, it will be very uneconomical for the new administration to bring them down. Now, there is a down payment of about 250,000 Kenya shillings if somebody has to occupy that house. This clearly beats reason to a mama fua or a person that is working for very little money per day. Could you please speak to the mass and tell us how you are going to help that those houses, if they are going to actually help those that are meant for, how your new government will actually look into this, that the mama fua, mama boga will be the person to benefit from those houses and not the rich. Because as far as we have said, we cannot bring those houses down, but we'll sit down and discuss the way forward, and it seems that the houses will be occupied anyway. So please, could you speak to that to us as far as that is concerned? Could you please speak to the mass and tell us how you are going to help that those houses, if they are going to actually help those that are meant for, how your new government I think you are muted, please. We cannot hear you. Mama Fua, Mama Boga will be the person to benefit from those houses and not the rich. Because as far as we have said, we cannot bring those houses down, but we'll sit down and discuss the way forward, and it seems that the houses will be occupied. Your Excellency, your mic is muted. Could you unmute it? Could you please speak to the mass and tell us how you are going to help that those houses, if they are going to actually help those that are meant for, how your new government I think you are muted, please. Your Excellency, your mic. Will be the person to kindly unmute it. Houses and not the rich. Because as far as we have said, we cannot bring those houses down, but we'll sit down and discuss the way forward, and it seems that the houses will be occupied. And Gedaiga, please remove the timer against us, so then this will work better for us and more efficient.
Wow, somebody is interfering with the.
Your Excellency, your mic.
With the live.
Kindly unmute
as much as the. It's a little bit unfortunate, and I hope
and Gedaiga, please remove the timer.
Nobody is being used here too.
So then this will work better for us and more efficient.
Wow, somebody is interfering with the.
Your Excellency, your mic.
With the live.
Kindly unmute
as much as the.
Of course, the challenges we are having, are we able to work on them, or can we take the next alternative?
Nobody's being used here. We should be able to work on them because there's no way we will allow. I mean, we cannot let.
Host. I think the blame is not on moderators. There is external interference on all this, the time and everything. We're trying as much as we can. It's not the moderators. There is external interference. So I would wish if the Excellency got minutes to talk, we let him talk exhaustively, because I believe somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage the session, trying to make sure the session does not go through. because it's not on the option of moderators. I'm trying as much as I can. So we can just go on. Everything is right for now. Please, moderators, don't mute any of the guests' microphone, because once you mute, we are not able to go live, including myself. So kindly don't mute His Excellency's microphone or the CS's microphone. Thank you very much. Let's continue.
Thank you very much, Githaiga. You are doing a great job to try and uphold that. So please, Your Excellency, could you go ahead?
Trying to make sure the session
Yes, definitely there is external interference, and that's what is happening in this country.
So we can just go on. Everything is
there
right
is a
for
very
now.
great
Please,
effort to
moderators,
make sure
don't mute
people
any
do
of
not
the
know the
guests'
truth,
microphone,
and that is
because
why
once you
there
mute,
is
we are not
external
able to go live,
interference to
including
make sure
myself.
that
So
we don't
kindly
touch people.
don't mute
But
His
we'll just soldier
Excellency's
on
microphone
in spite
or
of
the
the
CS's
difficulties.
microphone.
I was saying it will be responsible for any government to
Thank you very much,
bring
Githaiga.
down
You are doing a
houses.
great job
What we shall
to
do,
try
and
and
I think
uphold that.
any
So
new
please,
administration
Your
will do,
Excellency, could
is
you go
make
ahead?
sure that the houses that have already been put up are made available to those who can afford them. And then from there, we can be able to spend all resources to put up the infrastructure, to give services to the people, and then we can leave the private sector to deal with the issue of houses on ground. That, in my view, is what is
I was
saying it will be responsible for any government to bring down.
Thank you very much. I will proceed on and ask about the finance bill. In 2023, the finance bill fell through. In that finance bill, there were government projects that were supposed to be going on to this day. But at the moment, they've all stalled. Now, we have examples of the Mau Road and Karimeru Dam that have stalled. In the new administration, what are the plans that you have put in place to jumpstart these stalled projects? 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. I think, in my view,
government projects
as an administration, we should have focused more on completion of ongoing projects rather than starting new projects and coming up with things that really are not a priority. And Karimeru Dam that have stalled. We had very many projects that were started by the former administration, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Mau roads, the dams that you have mentioned, and in my view, that should be priority. Again, we do have pending bills, almost 900 billion Kenyan shillings. And that is why contractors have abandoned site. That is why the projects are stalled, because the contractors are not able to go on without payment. We should have given that a thought and coming up with things as priority, to pay pending bills to people who have given services to government contractors who have put up projects. We pay them so that they can complete the projects. Again, you know that many people are having a lot of difficulty because of the pending bills. Many people have their homes auctioned, they have their business auctioned, and that is why, because of the absence of the 900 billion in circulation, there is no money that is circulating in the economy. So again, an administration that I will be part of, give priority to settlement of pending bills and completion of all projects that are going on before we can embark on the projects. Many people having a lot of difficulty.
Great. Well answered. Now, could you touch a little bit on how your government is planning on funding these projects, bearing in mind that right now there is just so much taxing against a mass of people, and we are feeling the pain in every corner. The new administration, what steps are you going to take so that this pain is not so excruciating against the pockets of the general population?
I don't think overtaxing people is really the way to build a country.
Well answered. Now, could you touch a little bit on how your government is planning
and is accepted as but it has to be done in a way that you don't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. If you overtax people, you kill productivity. Today, if you go to the streets of Nairobi, you go to the Makema, you go to Taberna, all shops that were very busy have been shut down. In Yamakema, where goodwill was between 20 to 25 million shillings, today, the shops are closed, and if you want a shop space there, you are not asked for any goodwill to take this shop and pay whatever rent you are able to. We don't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. If you overtax people, you kill productivity.
Your Excellency, we are losing you once more.
All shops that were very busy have been taxed now. In avoid unnecessary taxation, like the housing levy. That is something a new administration would have to do away with, and that will give a relief to the taxpayers, because it is not necessary. You just tax people where you need to, on things that are necessary, things that are really a priority to the people of this country. So I think we would have a responsible tax regime where you tax people for what is necessary and what is a priority. And then you make sure there is a prudent use of those taxes, where what you have collected from the people, you use it in a responsible manner for the benefit of that. And that will give a relief to the taxpayers.
Thank you so very much for those questions. Now we are going to move on to the Labor Department. And the question for the Labor that we have for you is this. During the campaign, which you campaigned well and successfully, the youth asked the government to create jobs within Kenya, the Kenyan government, by building manufacturing units where the youths could actually work. Instead, the government chose to look for jobs out of the country in places such as the Middle East. From the feedback that we are getting from the ground, there seems to be no rules laid down on how the Kenyan citizens that go to work in the Gulf are to be treated. Neither is there a very clear way on how the people working in the Gulf can be returned home in case of emergencies. Now, this comes across as systemic human trafficking, bearing in mind that sometimes the living conditions are not that excellent for a human being. So, in this case, could you please speak for this systemic human trafficking, or rather what we would call, or what comes across as modern-day slavery?
I am the opinion that we need to encourage our young people to work here, first and foremost, by criminalizing enterprise. We have necessary resources here in this country. If we allow this to thrive, our young people will gainfully employment. I agree with you, we have a program of labor migration where we are taking people to the Middle East. And as you know, previously, the people who have found their ways to those countries have been mistreated, and it has not been a very rosy picture. And I am not aware of any program that has been put in place to make sure that our people don't get enslaved. I am of the opinion that we need to invest much more here in the country. We need to encourage manufacturing here in the country. We need to encourage agriculture in terms of horticulture and other agribusiness, where even our young people can be involved in agribusiness. I think we have enough resources in this country. We have enough enterprise in this country that can absorb our young people without having to send them out there. We don't mind a few people who can get work outside there, but that should not be a government policy, really. We need to encourage manufacturing here in the country. We need to encourage agriculture in terms of horticulture and other agribusiness, where even our young people can be involved in agribusiness.
Continuous, yes.
We have enough resources.
Yes, Your Excellency.
We have enough.
He's talking, but I can't hear him clearly from here.
Without having to send them out there. We don't mind.
He's either muted.
Our government policy is not supposed to be a government policy. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? We
Yes,
have
I can
enough
hear you.
opportunities in the country to absorb our young population. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for confirming that is your stand on the labor immigration. But right now, we do have quite a number of people in the Gulf areas that are working there. They are our mothers, our sisters, and reasonable citizens of this country. Go ahead. What should we expect from the new administration as far as their livelihood is concerned? Are you planning on bringing them back for those who want to come back? Are you planning on laying out rules with those governments on how they should be treated? Could you please speak on that too? Right now, we do have quite a number
I don't
of
think
people
we need to
in
bring
the
back
Gulf
home
areas
anybody
that are
who has
working
found an
there.
opportunity to earn a living
They are our
out
mothers,
of
our
the country. I
sisters,
think that would be
and
sensitive. What we need to do is
citizens
to
of this
engage the other
country,
countries, government to government,
what should we expect from the
to come
new
up with
administration
guidelines on how
as
Kenyans are
far
treated
as their
in the countries that
livelihood
they
is
are going to
concerned?
work to.
Are you planning
And
on
then
bringing them
we
back for
empower
those who
our
want to come
missions
back?
abroad, our
Are you
embassies, and
planning
our
on
high
laying
commissions
out rules
to have
with those governments
very
on how they should
deliberate
be treated?
program
Could you please speak
to
about
monitor,
that? Right
to
now,
visit
we do have
how our people are being treated, in terms of consular services, so that we have staff at the embassy going to visit homes, going to visit factories, going to visit establishments, and engaging the people of Kenya who are working in those factories to come up to find out how they are being treated. But I am of the view that we should have government to government agreed guidelines on how people of Kenya working in a foreign country should be treated, and then our embassy staff can follow up to make sure that that is being done.
Thank you very much, and that is very encouraging for us who are in the diaspora, Australia, North America, the Gulf area, which always seems to be sidelined, and various places outside of the country, to know that your government is actually thinking of looking into that matter when we are outside of the country. Now, there is a question that also came up, that the current government, which you campaigned once more successfully, was said to be serikali ya mama mboga. The new administration you are advocating for, ni ya kina nani? Which always seems to be sidelined, and various places outside of the country, to know that your government is actually thinking of looking into that matter when we are outside of the country. Now, there is a question that also came up, that the current government, which you campaigned once more successfully, was said to be serikali ya mama mboga. The new administration you are advocating for, ni ya kina nani? Which always seems to be sidelined.
What I know and what I
various
believe
places
in,
outside of the
we have an
country, to
administration
know
that
that
listens
your
to
government is actually thinking
because
of
the
looking
key to
into that
governance
matter when
is
we
to
are
carry the
outside
people along,
of the country.
is to listen to them, is to appreciate their
There is a
aspirations,
question that also
is to
came up,
appreciate their
that
challenges, is to allow them how they want to be governed, is to listen to them and respond to them positively. Because at the end of it all, the sovereignty of this country is exercised by the people. So the central theme of any governance is the people themselves. So an administration that I look forward to is an administration that will be people-centered. It's an administration that will never shout back at the people. It's an administration that will never accuse the people of being too critical. It's an administration that will always engage the people and take what they are saying seriously, embrace it, and address the issues that the people are raising. So I look forward to an administration that is people-centered.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. These are questions that had been compiled, and we are just about to start wrapping them up here. And they are in the general population. So there are questions that have been put together. And there will be another session that will be open, and everybody can participate in this one. But this particular one looks out for the general population, and our Excellency is doing very well at answering those questions. And now we would like him to speak on the current economy that is upholding very high taxes against individuals. How will your new administration bring a balance, strike a balance, an optimal balance of tax rates in the country? And there will be another
session
that will be open, and
thing
everybody can participate in this one. But this particular one looks out for
avoid lofty spending and doing unnecessary projects. It is really to focus on a few things that are important to the people of Kenya: the health sector, the education sector, fixing our roads, water for irrigation, making sure that people are secure, and avoiding a lot of projects that are not necessary, like the affordable housing. And once you agree that you want to address the basics, you will have to cut down on the taxation so that you don't have to overtax the people. And the people of Kenya are good people, and they are willing to pay taxes, but they also want to see their taxes being well used. You know? If you look at the way we are spending money today in this country, For example, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Billions of shillings were spent from government resources on a truly unnecessary exercise. You don't have to spend public resources for such a thing. I have seen meetings being held and people are being given 500 shillings to attend public rallies to be addressed by the president. That is really waste of public resources. It is really unnecessary. And I believe that if an administration focuses on what is important, making sure that our hospitals are working, there are drugs, there are doctors, there are nurses, that is good. If you spend money on fixing roads to make sure that people are able to get where they are going, people are able to get their produce and take it to the market, that is good. If you are able to make sure that the country is secure, you spend money on security, that is good. And that is what we look forward to, spending money on things that are important so that we don't have to overtax the people to embark on projects that are really not necessary. That will be our focus, to make sure that we are collecting taxes that are reasonable and those taxes are being applied to programs that have a benefit to the people.
Excellent. Change is good, but we cannot usher change when we have people, the same people with the same mindset, working and rotating in the same government position over and over. Now, in the new administration that you're putting together, how will you address this issue so that we can see new people with new mindset occupying these places so that we can transition towards newness and progressiveness in your government?
I think that is really a decision that the people of Kenya have made. The people of Kenya are having fatigue on recycling the same old faces. And when I listen, the Gen Z phenomenon is a real game changer in this country. And I can see as we go towards 2027, there is going to be a serious revolution in terms of leadership. I have here in my rural residence met young people who are seeking elective positions, who are very revolutionary, who are looking at things in a different perspective. And I can tell you that our young people are going to determine the next administration. And from what I gather as I interact with them and I interact with other Kenyans, there is a new beginning in this country where we are going to have a new leadership of young people, focused people, people with a different mindset. And I can tell you, I am very hopeful that we'll have different kind of leaders that are going to come up. And those are the people who are going to make a real change that we need in this country.
Very well. Now we move swiftly to education, and we are going to focus more on higher education. What plan is in place to make higher education affordable? Let's bring one case scenario. A student in engineering has to pay 150,000 Kenya shillings per year. This is exclusive of any other bills, a place to stay, food, clothing, books, and everything else that they may require. Now, 150,000 is not something, is not an amount of money that a Mama Mboga would actually afford. And now we are questioning whether there are certain faculties that are reserved for the affluent communities in our societies, while not everybody can be able to access them, even when they have the grades. Now, how will you make education, higher education, more affordable for the people in the new administration?
I think we had a good financing model, and the Higher Education Laws Board helped, and it was working well. And without applying our mind to the merits and the demerits, this administration decided to do away with it and introduce a new financing model without consulting anybody, without consulting the students, the parents, the lecturers, and the stakeholders in the higher education component. I think what is important is exhaustive consultation among the stakeholders. I am a firm believer that any responsible government must make education affordable. And if you look at our dispensation, we have various bursaries. We have bursaries by the county government, we have bursaries by the CDF, we have bursaries by the Ministry of Education. I am of the view that we need to collapse all these bursaries into one, and we can channel them directly to the people who are needy. And this money is quite sufficient. It's a lot of money. If you look at the money that is sent through the CDF, if you look at the bursaries that the counties are giving, if you look at what the Ministry of Education is giving, since this money is coming from one source, but going through different channels, we need to collapse all these bursaries into one. And then from a central point of view, we will be able to help students from needy families. And I think that can work. As it is today, we have a problem because we changed the old financing model without thinking through the new one, and it's not working. Many university students are at home. They cannot go to college. And we are having a very difficult situation as a country. So because we have a long way to create a new administration, mine is to ask the current administration to find it necessary to listen to the stakeholders, to listen to the students, to listen to the lecturers, to listen to the parents, and agree that we need to look at what was proposed because it is not working. Either we revert to the old system or we come up with something much better. But we cannot do that just sitting in Nairobi in government offices. This has to be done in a consultative manner by engaging the stakeholders. Again, people-centered. You must talk to the people. These students are the beneficiaries. The parents are the ones who are paying for them. Any new financing model without talking to the beneficiaries, without talking to the parents, is an exercise in futility. And it costs the government nothing to engage the people, to listen to them, and to listen to what they have to say. And Kenyans are very innovative. People have solutions to all these problems. All you need to do is to create an opportunity for them to contribute, to make suggestions. And what does it cost the government to listen to the people? Nothing. Let us agree, listen to the students, listen to the lecturers, listen to the parents, and together we can come up with a good financing model for university education.
Thank you very much. That was a question that had been asked by the mass. As I have said, my work here is actually to present the questions from general population that had been compiled and the mass felt are important for you to answer. And we are remaining about 2 questions, and then we can open up the forum for the next section. Now, on education, still, we have people with special needs. That's persons with disabilities. And there's a cry out that there are so many bills that have been added against their tuition slips, and they're not able to meet these needs. What can you say as far as the sustainability of the persons with disabilities education?
I think the hallmark of a good government is how it treats the disadvantaged people in society. All over the world, people with disabilities are the challenge of the state. You know, any government anywhere in the world has a responsibility to people who have challenges, people who are impaired, people who have challenges here and there, the elderly people, and those with who are having challenges. I think it is only fair that we come up with a very comprehensive program on how to treat and take care of our PWDs, because it's important that we do that as a country, as a people, as a nation. And that happens all over the world. Again, it's the same for the elderly, the senior citizens of any country. We must always think about how to take care of their medical needs, how to take care of them in old age. And that is really a service, because those are not people who are able to gainfully be employed or able to meet their challenges. And that is something that those of us who are putting up an administration that we think can be responsible for good governance and for improving the lives of our people, is something that we are really putting our mind to. And ahead along the way, as we put up our manifesto, as we go away, we'll have a very, very clear chapter on how to treat our PWDs.
Excellent. So in this case, are we expecting to see representatives of the groups of people that have special needs on the table when it comes to discussions? Because we expect to see the roads accommodating them, accommodating the blind, accommodating the hard of hearing. We expect to hear the education system also providing brailles and all that they need, wheelchairs at an affordable price. Are we hearing from you that we are going to have people with disabilities at the table during discussions?
Yes, that is a promise that I want to make, that one of the ways to address these problems is to have people with special needs to be on the decision-making table, to be part of the governance structure, so that they are able to present the needs of those that they lead. So one of the ways to address the problem of people with special needs is to make them part and parcel of the governance structure, to be on the decision-making table, and to be part of the decision-making process. So we intend along the way, from day one, to have people with special needs to be part of our team, so that they are represented, so that once they are there on the decision-making table, the issues, the aspirations of people with special needs are well represented and articulated.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Your Excellence. And now we come to the final question that has to do with security. The current security in the country is wanting. Case in point is where abductions of the outspoken have been experienced, have happened. How is the new government planning on remedying the current situations, the insecurities in the country? How will you get the trust back from the mass as far as security is concerned?
I think a government that can not secure its people has no business being in government. It's a cardinal responsibility of any government all over the world. The first responsibility of the government is to secure the people. When the government turns against its own, it's a very sorry state of affairs. What we are seeing today in Kenya is unprecedented, and it's very, very, very unfortunate, where state agencies have turned against the citizens. And it's even more annoying that the people who have been targeted are our children, the young people, by the state for abductions, for extrajudicial killings. As Deputy President, on the 26th of June last year, I called a press conference in Mombasa just after the President had spoken and condemned abductions and extrajudicial killings. You have seen our Minister, our Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Dr. Justin Gideon Muturi, giving an account of how his own son was abducted by members of the National Intelligence Service, and was only released after the President intervened. And then you are wondering what happens to those who cannot access the President. I think this administration has sunk very low. That is something that has not been done. Even in terms of repression during the colonial times, the British colonialists never went for children and women. But we have seen an administration that is really going for children, abducting them, mistreating them, punishing them, persecuting them. This is really, really very low, and I want to condemn in the strongest terms possible the insecurity that's going on in the country. And it's unfortunate that the same insecurity is being perpetuated by the state that is supposed to take care of people's security. You have seen the emergence of criminal gangs that terrorized people in this country in the 90s. Here in the Mount Kenya region and in Nairobi, the government is trying to bring back criminal gangs that used to reign terror, against the people, and they are being brought to manage politics, disrupt meetings, cause mayhem, kill people, harm people, and this is being done by the state. Yet the state is the one that is supposed to protect the people. We are having a situation that is very laughable in this country, that our administration has sent policemen in Haiti to help the people of that country to fight criminal gangs. Yet the same government here in Kenya is funding and reviving criminal gangs to cause mayhem against the people of Kenya. It really doesn't make sense. Why you would want to send policemen to help a foreign country to deal with criminal gangs, yet in your own country you are spending public resources to revive a criminal gang and finance that gang to cause mayhem against its own citizens. I want to give a commitment that an administration that I will be part of would secure this country, will make sure that the people of Kenya are safe, and it will deal with the criminals ruthlessly in accordance with the law, so that people are able to do things, to go about their business without fear, so that people can be able to invest, so that people can be able to carry out businesses. As we speak today, there's a lot of fear. You know, parents do not know when they don't see their children. They don't know whether they have been abducted or not. There's a lot of fear in the country, a lot of anxiety, and that is not healthy for investment. It's not healthy for attracting foreign investors. It's not healthy for people to do business. I want to give a commitment that we would have a very responsible administration, and our security agencies would not perpetuate crime. They will not be involved in crime. They will be preventing crime. They will be securing the people of Kenya. They will be making sure there is rule of law and there is law and order. That is a commitment that I would like to give.
Finally, we come to the last question of the under security. What words do you have for the taxpayers who this government has denied security they have paid for, whereas the same government has taken officers who are providing excellent care in foreign lands such as Haiti? What word do you have?
That is what is a tragedy. That government is spending public resources to send policemen to Haiti to help foreigners secure their country. Yet in our own motherland, our security agencies are the ones perpetuating crime. They are the ones abducting people. They are the ones killing people. They are the ones escorting criminal gangs to disrupt meetings. It's very, very, very unfortunate. In fact, it's the lowest we can ever go as a country. And I really, really feel very sorry that I was part of that administration. I campaigned for this administration. I never imagined in my life that I would campaign and serve in a government that would turn against its own people, especially our children, the Gen Zs. You know, these young people are just creative and innovative. And I would like to tell our administration to know that nature abhors vacuum. Why are the Gen Zs becoming a headache to government in terms of raising issues? It's because the government killed the opposition. You know, Azimio coalition was absorbed into government, so they don't put the government into check. Again, institutions of accountability and oversight like Parliament and the Senate have been compromised. They have been compromised completely. So what happens is that nature abhors vacuum. Somebody has to keep the government in check, and it's fortunate for this country that our young people have taken up that role to put the government to task, to ask questions on behalf of the people of Kenya, because nature abhors vacuum. I want to tell this administration that even if you compromise all institutions of oversight, others will come up. That is the way nature operates, and it's as good. There's nothing you can do about it. Even if you succeed and you not by silencing the young people, some other people will come up to put the government in check. So I want to say that this is very, very unfortunate, and new administration would not go that low, would not allow, insecurity, and will not have state organs, perpetuating insecurity, because that should never happen in the midst of a civilized society.
Thank you so very much. And with that, I have come to the end of the first session. I want to give my sincere thank you to Your Excellence for the respect, the order, and how you have followed protocol. I am more than honored as your moderator here. I thank Edaiga for all the work and efforts that you have made to make sure that this session has gone very efficiently. Thank you, Marcy, for moderating in the best way possible. The host, I'm so glad for having me, and should you call again, I'll definitely come. You've showed me so much respect, and you've accepted me so very much in all ways. Thank you so much. And for all those people who gave those questions, especially my people in the diaspora, thank you very much. The questions have been answered, and I hope you're satisfied with what our Excellence has spoken about. These questions were from the mass, and by mass here, I mean general population. And there were questions that have been figured in generally in the air. where every person has been asking, okay, what is the stand on the Constitution? What is the stand on healthcare? What is the stand on this? Now that that session is over, we'll be able to up people and they can ask the general questions that they need in section B. My name's CS Mumbi. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, CS. We appreciate His Excellency. I think I feel very honored because I have dealt with the politicians. I've not seen one who will be patient for almost 2 hours and we make it look like 10 minutes. His Excellency, with your permission, we will now go to the second session whereby you will be able to interact with Murima directly because that is where we belong. That is where we are. But before we get there, I would ask our moderators, we had so many questions. If we have those questions, I'll allow a few questions to be asked. And this goes to Sonny if she's there. You read us a few questions that have not, on subjects that are probably have not been tackled. In the meantime, people are so excited. His Excellency, watu wanauliza na tutakula dinner lini na His Excellency huku diaspora. So that is a question that I would like answered.
Maybe before we get there was one issue that I wanted to spend 3 minutes to talk about, if you allow me.
Yes, please.
It's the issue of the IBC. This country, we had problems in 2007, post-election violence, and you know how ugly it was. And we had the Kriegler Commission that made recommendations on how to avoid such situations in future. And the Kriegler Commission recommended that for us to have a credible, to have IBC 3 years before the election, because the process is as important as the outcome. We are having a very, very dicey situation here in the country because there are no IBC commissioners and the elections are 2.5 years from now. And there has been very deliberate efforts by this IBC is not put in place. Cases have been put in court by proxies of the state to make sure we have no IBC. We are appealing to the international community to pile pressure into administration to agree that we need to constitute IBC. As it is already with boundary, the Constitution says that between 10 and 12 years, we should review our boundaries so that we create extra constituencies and we align other boundaries. Today, as we speak, we have no IBC to start preparing for the election. So mine is to appeal to the international community to put pressure on the government to constitute the IBC. And you have heard some very close politicians to the president making statements that are very worrisome. You heard a member of parliament saying that they can extend the president's tenure by another 24 years. You have had another member of parliament very close to the president say, even if the votes are not enough, they will manufacture them. These statements are very worrying. You saw another senator close to the president try to bring a bill in the Senate to extend the president's tenure to 7 years. And when you look at all these things and the absence of the IBC, you see a red flag. So we want as a country, because this is a democratic country that carries out elections in every 5 years. And one of the ways to stabilize a country is to have very credible elections. So we are calling upon the constitution of the IBC, we are calling upon the international community to pile pressure on this administration to have the IBC constituted so that it can start preparing for the next general election, it can start rolling out voter registration. And on that note, we have also noted that there is a deliberate effort to deny young people IDs, because the Gen Zs are the ones that will determine the next governance structure in this country. And I think this administration is uncomfortable with the Gen Zs. And we have found there is a deliberate effort to make sure that young people are not being registered as Kenyans. We want to call upon the government to allow our young people to have IDs so that they get ready to prepare to register as voters, so that they can.
Okay, we're having some challenge with His Excellency. You're breaking a little bit.
Participate. I think I've concluded that about the IDs. We want our young people to take IDs and to register as voters because they have an income.
We have some challenge with network.
Maybe the host, you can mute your microphone. The host, kindly, you can mute your microphone to give a smooth run to the Excellency. So host, mute your microphone so that the DP can speak. Thank you. Yeah. Muria Wakafiro, are you able to mute your mic kindly? There is the noises coming from your background. So if you're able to mute your mic.
Let me see, where am I? Oh.
So ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, we can continue putting questions on the comment section. We are concluding the session. So kindly put your questions on the comment section. Ensure they are as brief and direct as possible. I'm noting them down. Maybe I can ask once everything is done as we conclude. So kindly put up the questions on the comment section. Thank you very much. In the meantime, Korea is trying to mute his microphone and we're trying to get back His Excellency. So I really hope it will be smooth. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Your Excellency, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Don't worry about this interruption. That's the way we are living in this country. The National Intelligence Service interferes with everything. When we had our matter in the High Court during the impeachment process, they would interfere with the filing system, make sure that papers before they reach judges are with the National Intelligence Service. That is the new Kenya, and that is what is happening in this country. So we just carry on with the little challenges that we are having, but a new dawn is coming, and these things will happen as we go on.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And as the host tries to mute his microphone, I think he can read a few questions that I have written down from the comment section.
Yes.
About the merging of 42 parastatos, you can touch on that. And there's also this other issue of isolating Mount Kenya. We have